Marina is 17 years old and lives in Novotcherkassk, Rostov region. She is in her first year of technical school. Marina dreamed of becoming a teacher, but she did not have enough points for admission to the pedagogical faculty. Marina is not going to work in her specialty anyway. Instead, she got a certificate as a master eyebrow specialist in order to open her own beauty salon in the future. Marina's mother's name is Nadezhda. She is 35 years old and works as a cab driver. Marina has a very trusting relationship with her mother, but she has no contact with her father Vladislav. He divorced Nadezhda a long time ago and married another woman. At first the father kept in touch with his daughter, but when he found out that she had diabetes, he decided that he did not need such problems. The family lives in a small house. There are 4 of them: Marina, her mother, the stepfather Sergey, and the 8-year-old brother. Marina gets along well with her stepfather. He does not try to teach her about life. A year ago Marina got a boyfriend. His name is Alexander and he is 22 years old. They met in the company of mutual friends. Alexander immediately liked Marina, and he began to take active steps. Despite the age difference, they became a couple. Alexander's parents are 46 years old. They are both alcoholics. The parents didn't even apply for a passport when their son was 14 years old. Since it is impossible to enter a technical school without documents, Alexander did not get an education. Now he works at a tire repair shop. When Marina decided to introduce Alexander to her mother, it turned out that they already knew each other. Some time ago he flirted with Nadezhda, thinking that she was no more than 25 years old. Alexander has a lot of friends. He constantly spends time at parties. Because of this he and Marina quarrel. But soon the carefree life will have to end because Marina is pregnant. Marina did not realize at once that she was pregnant. She often felt bad because of diabetes, so she didn't pay much attention to it. When Marina suspected that she was pregnant, she decided to consult her friend Lisa. On the way to her, Marina went to a pharmacy to buy a pregnancy test. It turned out to be positive. The first thing Marina did was to tell Alexander and then her mother. Nadezhda was shocked because her daughter is not even 18 years old, and besides she has diabetes. Alexander came so that they could talk about it together. Nadezhda believes that Alexander broke Marina's life, but the young people only smiled in response to her claims. Nadezhda is worried about what money the young family will use to support their child. Sergey was equally shocked by this news, and in the evening he talked to Alexander. For now, it is not possible to move to a rented apartment, so Alexander will have to live with Marina's family. Marina and Lisa came in for an ultrasound scan. The doctor said that at the moment there is no fetus in the uterus. Now Marina has to take some tests and come for another ultrasound in 2 weeks. The girl was very upset by this news. But when she took the tests and came for a follow-up appointment, it turned out that she was pregnant. Marina was insanely happy. In the evening Alexander said he wanted to go out with his friends, but Marina did not let him go. While Alexander still hasn't moved in to live with them, but he often spends time at their house. Nadezhda is worried about Alexander's earnings because the job at the tire shop is very low paying. Alexander's parents took the news of the pregnancy calmly. His father Roma met with the new relatives and they discussed how to live their lives. Alexander moved to live with Marina after all. Now they became like husband and wife. 3 weeks passed. Marina reminded Alexander that he needs to look for another job. Alexander does not like the pressure he is under. When her lover left for work, Marina came to visit Lisa. Alexander does not seem like a reliable guy to her. It was already late in the evening, but Alexander was not at home and did not answer his phone. At this time, he told his friend that he would soon become a father. Such responsibility frightens him. Lisa keeps calling him, but he still doesn't pick up the phone. He wants to go on a binge because family life is very tiring. It's already nighttime. Lisa was very worried and went to bed with her mother. She could not fall asleep and woke up her mother early in the morning to go look for Alexander. Finally he did pick up the phone and said that he was supposedly at his parents' house and that he hadn't heard her calls. The next day, Alexander called back and said he would be right over. He gave Marina a teddy bear and promised that he would never ignore her calls again. Marina decided to forgive him. It's time for another ultrasound. Marina was worried that her diagnosis would have a negative impact on the baby's development, but the doctor assured her that all was well. At home, Marina and Alexander began to arrange the baby's room. Alexander does not like the fact that he cannot decide anything here. The young people dream of living separately so that no one interferes with them. They need a lot of money for this, but Alexander is not looking for a better paying job. The 17th week of pregnancy has already arrived. At the technical school, Marina took an academic leave of absence to finish her studies in a year. The doctor said they will have a girl. Nadezhda was happy about this news and has already accepted the fact that she will soon become a grandmother. Alexander is trying to make repairs to the baby's room, but nothing has worked out for him. Thanks to the parents' help, Marina and Alexander bought a crib, stroller, and baby things. Alexander said he was going to visit his parents. It was already 10 p.m., and he still hadn't shown up at home. Marina realized that her lover had deceived her. Alexander was out clubbing with friends at the time. When Marina called him, he bluntly said that he was tired of this control. Tomorrow he will pick up his things and move out of her house. After this conversation, Marina was shocked. In the morning, she with her mother brought Alexander his things. He did not feel guilty and was ready to break off relations with Marina. She suspects him of cheating, but he assured her that this was not true. In the end, the young people made up after all. Soon Marina received a call from an acquaintance who reported that she had seen Alexander in a bar with his ex-girlfriend that night. After the party, they went somewhere together. It turned out that Nadezhda knows Alexander's ex-girlfriend. Her name is Christina, and she is from the orphanage where Nadezhda used to work as a cook. They decided to call Christina. She confessed that she and Alexander had been intimate that night. Marina could not believe that her lover had betrayed her. In the evening, when Alexander came home, he confessed everything because there was no point in hiding it anymore. He tried to justify himself, but Marina no longer believes him. She told him to get out of their house. It was over between them. For the whole week, Marina hardly got out of bed, falling into a depression. Nadezhda decided to call Alexander and ask him to reconcile with her daughter. Because of the stress, she had an exacerbation of diabetes, and this could pose a threat to the baby. Alexander came to ask for forgiveness. Marina decided to give him one last chance after all. At another appointment, a doctor informed her that she had a placental circulation disorder. This requires further treatment. Alexander quit his job at the tire shop, but he was in no hurry to look for a new job. He also did not clean the house, but only lay on the couch and played games on his phone all day long. The third trimester began. Marina's legs were swollen, and it was very difficult for her to walk. The doctor assured her that it was no big deal and prescribed compression stockings and medications. Alexander stopped going out with friends and finally found a new job. Marina came again for an ultrasound scan. It was found that the baby's umbilical cord was entangled, so a cesarean section will have to be performed. Also, the blood flow in the placenta was disrupted again. Marina was very upset because she wanted to give birth on her own. The mother calmed her down. In the evening, a friend came to get Alexander and invited him to a club. Marina forbade Alexander to go out, but he went out with his friend anyway. In desperation, Marina cried. At midnight, Alexander said he would spend the night at his parents'. In the morning, he came to make up. She had no choice but to forgive him. Alexander offered to marry, but she did not want to because now she does not trust him. Also, Marina does not want to put Alexander on the birth certificate of the child. Every day Marina is feeling worse and worse. She and Alexander continue to argue every day. At the last ultrasound, the doctor said the good news. The baby is no longer in danger. The baby is about to be born, and the relationship between Marina and Alexander is getting more and more heated. Alexander insists that they must get married, but Marina is still against it. In a fit of anger, Alexander leaves. He is not ready to tolerate such an attitude toward himself. He did not show up at home for several days and did not even call once. Nadezhda believes that Alexander should still be added to the birth certificate because the child should grow up in a full-fledged family. Alexander came to apologize again. Marina could not forgive him for all his antics, but she had no strength to argue. She decided to let Alexander stay. Marina was admitted to the hospital. In the morning, her sugar level suddenly dropped, which meant that the surgery would be performed earlier than planned. During the night, Marina got worse, and she was rushed to the operating room. Soon a little girl named Valeria was born. 4 days later, Marina and her daughter were discharged. Since Nadezhda got sick, she went to live with a friend for a few days so as not to infect the baby. Alexander took Marina and their daughter, and they went home. Alexander carefully prepared and decorated the children's room. 2 weeks have passed. Marina really likes being a mother. Alexander helps her with everything, and she decided to put him on the birth certificate. When Nadezhda came back, she realized that she had become a grandmother. Lara is 1 month old. Marina and Alexander's relationship began to get better because he changed for the better. They decided that they might get married soon.